choice, but eyes are on her because she's currently leading points, and she is definitely going to want to maintain her chances at winning the overall. We have Ecuador in lanes 1 and 3. So Smulders finding herself outside, which is not new for her. Smulders in lane 5. Out of the gate they go. Looks like Smulders straight to the front. Looks like there's a wreck behind her, but Smulders clears that. She is in the front, straight and away. Nice and easy in the first straight. I think she's going to take a measured lap here, but definitely looking good, keeping everything straight and narrow. Point A to point B, very textbook. Smulders not pushing too hard, just doing enough to stay in front. Not sure if she's riding a little bit hurt or just nursing it right now, but right now it's Smulders getting battled by the Ecuadorian just on the outside. So Azuero giving it to Smulders, trying to a little bit, but Smulders is managing to stay on for the lead, followed by Azuero. So it will be Smulders, Azuero, and Tano. Hatakeyama making it through with that 4th place. She gets to move on. And that was your women's last chance qualifier. The official, Smulders, Azuero, Tano, and Hatakeyama. Unfortunately, Carrera and Escobar are done for the day. Next time we see the women, it will be the quarterfinals. And as you know, 4th or better will keep you racing and keep you in the hunt. Racing resumes 3:15. Racing resumes at 3:15. Come back, or actually stay with us, because I believe we will have PD in the pits giving us the inside scoop on all things BMX UCI Supercross here in Santiago del Estero.
No. But it's just because they were running late, I thought they were still running behind. John, can you hear me? this mic? Is the audio quality good again, or? Seems they're in all good. I'm getting levels on the camera. I'm talking on the mic now. I'm getting levels on the camera. Can you hear me?
Like all these guys race in 5 minutes. Like, how do we do this one?
John, do you want me to do it without the presenter mic? Can you hear the audio now? Alright, do you want us to... Are we doing this then?
Sorry. They're all getting ready to race. The only people we can interview are girls, but we interviewed Mariana, Laura.
Alright. Do you just want to do something independently, or?
Yeah, we could just do something real quick, like.
Alright. John, we might just have to make this a quick one with just me, because all the guys are just about to ride. Maybe let's just face this way or something, just a little bit.
So I can be ready.
Maybe talk about this area and I'll get some.
How much? Like 8 minutes before they race. How long do we have to do this? Now what's the holdup?
John, are we standing by?
We're ready, run!
Hurry up and wait.
Hurry up and then stop. How's the wireless setup working? It's only wireless right there?
Yeah.
What's the update?
Standing by.
Standing by.
Jason must still be talking.
Can you stand by us? Hey, let's go. Tell them we're ready. We have riders that don't have time.
Stand by.
Anyone? Keep going. I'll wait. When I start talking, that's when you find out. Figure it out. Painful. I'll just do it on Facebook Live.
Hey, why did you stop your Instagram live feed earlier?
Okay, fans, we're here. We're here in the
We're
pits.
standing by.
Gotta say goodbye. We're gonna go live here in a moment, I think.
Turn it off.
There you go. Okay, we're through those single elimination races. Now we're heading in a little few minutes for these riders and top guys to get back back on track, full house. And you saw earlier right there, one of the contenders for this overall title. It's going to be Tori Nyhawk. Tori, thanks for joining us. You're getting warmed up, cooled down. How are things out there for you today?
Good. We had one round. I just haven't that great of a lap, to be honest. Bad start, but I still won it and through the ace final, and I'll work from there.
So now the program's going to pick up a little bit more racing. It's going to get a little bit more difficult. How do you focus that much more after you know you had not the track, the gate run, one of those things, around the track that time to focus in and make sure you get it perfect, unlike that question?
I mean, I've been in this position many times. I mean, it's BMX. It's hard to be good right off the bat, and so I've had to come back from a lot of adversity, and I'll be fine. Just gonna refocus and go and do the best I can this next lap.
You've done well here before. The fans, the weather, everything looking great today. So how are you personally feeling as we get ready to get back to racing?
I'm just gonna enjoy it. The rounds get more fun each time you go out there, and the track's good, the atmosphere's good, and the weather's good. So I'm just gonna have fun.
And then you throw in that chance at the overall title. You have to have a strong day today to stay consistently up there. Does that weigh on you at all, or are you just focused about racing?
I mean, for sure it's there. You can't ignore that you're high up in the rankings and that, but I'm just gonna do what I can out there, and I'm gonna have fun today.
All right, well, thanks so much, Tori.
Thanks.
All right, so Tori Nyhawk currently sitting third overall in the elite men's points. Definitely wants to have a good run. So that's a little installment here from right now. These riders are getting ready. The elite women just got finished. The ones that had to do that warm-up last chance race will get things kicked back up. Those riders look to be getting back up there in just a few minutes. So we'll see how things go. And those riders get ready to move on to single elimination racing. From here on out, top four move on. Other guys sit back and watch day number 5, just like you on Supercross World Cup here in Santiago del Estero, Argentina.
We made it. Fuck, man.
All right, back. Just a few minutes to go before we start the men's 8th finals. Pete D talking to Tori Nyhawk in the pits, giving everyone the scoop. So we can see the camera angle right here. That would be the second straightaway lip, the takeoff jump, as it were. If you're speaking non-BMX terms, that would be the takeoff for the first double jump on the men's side. That would be about a 30-foot crossing. Looks nice and pleasant, all green in between. However, one does not want to come up short and not make it. And actually, these riders are going so fast that one does not want to overshoot it, because you want to pinpoint that landing just so that you can have enough speed for the next one. So everyone getting their selfies on, their Instagram on, as you see in front of the camera, sharing with the world our sport of BMX, UCI Supercross. Perfect weather out here. Those Tioga banners in the first straight, they are not blowing at all. Wind can be a factor with Supercross racing because of the big jumps. However, here it is not an issue. The only thing that will stand in the way of the riders will be themselves. Was supposed to be joined by the co-host. However, she had some trouble getting here. A couple of missed connections due to weather, and then there was some family emergencies, so we wish her all the best here at BMX Live TV and UCI. We wish her all the best, and we want to let her know that we miss her. So that is why Dr. Jason Richardson, myself, is in the booth by myself. Pete joined me earlier. However, as you know, he has been in the pits running around getting the scoop. So I appreciate your patronage and tuning into the show more than you know. We have a live band here in Santiago del Estero. They sound amazing. Kind of an alt-rock band. DJ playing as well. In the mean times and in between times. So definitely a festival of sorts here. A BMX festival. Tomorrow, as I understand, they will be running a challenge or amateur race on the smaller hill, the 5-meter hill. So that'll be nice. You can look through the stands. You'll see some kids and some bikes along the fences. They are here as well as fans and as participants. One of the great things about our sport, everyone participates. Just a couple minutes. 8th finals for the elite men. 4th or better get you to the next round. I want to say hi to all the parents watching their children race. I know it sounds kind of funny to say children since we're talking about elite men and women. However, Vonda Butler watching young Tanner Sebesta. Tracy Hill watching Trey White. I'm sure Mike Fields watching young Connor Fields. If you're just tuning in to the BMX Supercross World Cup here in Santiago del Estero, I'd like to let you know that all of the major players so far have made it through the rounds. We have a 5-way battle for the overall in elite men. Sylvan Andre with 415 points. Dave Vandenberg with 395. Tori Nyhog with 390. And Connor Fields with 370. And Twan Van Gent with 355. 150 points for the first. So with one win, Twan Van Gent can go from 5 to first, depending on how those top 4 riders do. But as we know in Supercross, anything can happen. So consistency will be key. And so far, everyone has made it through to the 8th final. So things are going to get pretty heated here. As it pertains to the women, we saw a little bit of drama in the first moto. Laura Smulders crashing and then barely making it across the finish line, holding her arm, only to come back during the last chance qualifier, win that. So she finds her way through. Christensen and Mariana Pajón winning their first rounds respectively and handily. So they have all made it through as well to the quarterfinals. So everyone vying for a title this weekend has made it through. So everything is in play right now. It is definitely going to heat up as we head into the elimination rounds. If you are just joining us, we are in Santiago del Estero in Argentina, Southern Hemisphere. It's supposed to be wintertime here, however, it feels like a beautiful late spring day. The weather is perfect for BMX racing, and the wind is a non-issue, which is always nice. Great ambiance, great mood. A lot of BMX fans here and participants in this city. As we look up on the gate, we see Dave Vandenberg. I'm sure he's focused and ready, working to stay calm. We look up to the top of the hill. We see some riders popping up, the silhouettes of the elite men. 8th finals, 4th or better, get you to the next round. Some new riders and some veterans like Damien Godet and Vandenberg, the powerhouse that he is. Currently sitting number 2 in points. So we're gearing up here for the 8th finals. Looking at Argentinian Torres with a great first round. Start to finish first place. Qualifying handily. He'll have the first lane pick in Heat 1. So right now, elite men, 8th finals, 4th or better will make it to the quarterfinals. 4th or better, so keep your eye on 4th place. Things can happen. You do not want to be in 4th place during single elimination rounds. 8th finals, Heat 1, we have Torres, Vandenberg, Godet, Palomino, Shippers, Arenas, Nakai, and Shimada. So Japanese contingent making it through. They will be picking 7 and 8. However, all eyes are on Dave Vandenberg, the powerhouse, only 24 years old. Best finish, 2nd place, riding that Mabo bike like the Dutch national team does. Next to him on the inside will be Torres. Torres, former junior world champion. Riding a World Cup in his home country. Vandenberg in lane 2 and Godet, one of the elder statesmen now, in lane 3. But my eyes will be on Vandenberg going to that first corner. Dutch have been known to get out strongly out of the gate and shut down those that may be a threat. Torres known for his track speed, and more specifically his turning skills. So keep an eye on the Argentinian in those corners, keeping that speed and staying low. Okay, we're official. 8th finals, Heat number 1. 4th or better makes it to the next round. 5th or worse doesn't. Out of the gate we go. Vandenberg with a nice start. He's going to go straight to the front, but I'm not sure if that's going to give enough room for Torres to get to the front. So it's going to be Vandenberg, Torres, Palominos. Godet is in 3rd now. So we have Vandenberg, Torres, 1 and 2 as they pull away from Godet. Vandenberg looking quite nice, but Torres looking to pour on some heat and catching up to Vandenberg. Not sure if he's going to get through. Yes, he does. Taking advantage of that speed and that track and those turns. So it looks like Torres, crowd's happy about that, followed by Vandenberg. Godet and Palominos and Shippers. It is a photo finish. Palominos and Shippers have to rely on the camera and timing for that one as they both lunged for the line for that last and coveted 4th place position that gets through. Official. Torres, Vandenberg, Godet, and Palominos beating out Shippers. So the Chilean rounding out. So 2 South Americans and 2 Europeans getting through the next round. Heat 2, Molina, Van Gett, Navarstad, Peliward, Rios, Ruiz, Aguirre, and Del Santo. That will be the lineup. We have 8 men in the gate, but all eyes are looking at Twan Van Gent, only 25 years old. 2 Olympic appearances. He's won a Supercross before. 1 in Belgium. He is also vying for this title. Next to him is Molina. Both Molina and Twan Van Gent known for their starts and first straight. So it will be a battle into the first turn, people. As we're official. Out of the gate they go. They start clean. Van Gent goes to the right, then goes to the left. No, he's going to stay close, but Molina's not going to let him by. So it's going to be Molina edging him out by position. Van Gent in tow. So Molina, Van Gent, as they pull away from Pelluard. But Pelluard holding his own into third place, into the second corner. Molina walking away with it, stretching it just a bit from Van Gent. Van Gent getting a little crazy into that third straight. So as Molina pulls away even further. So it's Molina, Van Gent, and Pelluard. Van Gent, little wild in the rhythm section. Navrestad just getting through from Norway. Derek Betcher from Speedco will be happy about that. The official, Molina, Van Gent, Pelluard, and Navrestad. Those will be your qualifiers moving on to the quarterfinals. Like to welcome back Mr. Pete D. Just came from the pits. Eighth finals, heat 3. We have Fields, Komarov, White, Pizarro, Bensink, Rojas, Aguirre, and Agudelo. Pete, who do you have for this one?
Trey White's looked really well. Connor Fields has been on a tear right now. He sits fourth overall, has a win on the season, so it could be a good day for him. The sun's out. The atmosphere is really nice out there, Jason. The pits are really popping right now. Be interesting to see as these riders in the gate. A little bit of a different format for a lot of people, just throwing things off, but you see right there, calm, cool, and collected. Number 11, Connor Fields.
Pits are popping, but right now, all eyes are on heat number 3 in Connor Fields. Out of the gate they go. Looks like Trey White had a decent start, but he's going to give a little bit of room to the Russian to come to squeeze through as Connor Fields just walks away with it into the first corner. So it's going to be Fields, Komarov, and White, 1, 2, and 3. White going to battle the Russian into the second corner, as he should. White almost high-siding over the Russian, Komarov shutting him down, but Fields walking away with it quite nicely as the Russian looks like he's trying to catch up to Fields. Out of the last turn, it's going to be Fields. Fields' legs looks like they're blowing up just a little bit. He's going to lunge for it. I don't know if Fields is saving energy or if he's feeling it, but it's Fields, Komarov, White, and Bensink making it through the top 4.
Yeah, Pizarro from Argentina was flying through that last turn. He misses out. And it's good to see Bensink make his way through with White, Komarov, and Fields. Those are your riders making it. Next up on that start list, Jason.
Jones, Arbodella, Marino, Yoshimura, Espejo, Santillan, Concha, and Katana. Katana just getting through in that last chance. See the bikes lined up, all the colors and the pageantry as we are official. New Zealand rider Trent Jones in lane 1. Trent Jones off to a decent start, but the Colombian maybe off to a better one. Trent Jones with the benefit of lane 1 as he's going to squeeze it in there and come out of the first turn. So it's going to be Jones, Ospina, 1 and 2 as they go into the second corner with Marino, the vet, in third. So Marino been on the scene for a long time. Even I've raced Marino. So we have Jones, Ospina, 1 and 2 with Marino in third, and the Japanese rider in fourth of Yoshimura.
Yeah, Spino definitely looking super fast, not backing down from Jones. Jones wanted to make a clean lap. He had it there, comes away with the victory. You see the official results. Jones, Ospina, Marino, and Yoshimura. Those are riders moving on into the next round.
Next up, we have the Magician, Ramirez, Van Gorkum, Schaub, Nagasako, Goyes, Diaz, Matsushita, and Liendo. So I know we're in Argentina and they'd like to see a full rack of 8 people on the gate, but I don't know that that's going to happen. However, there is enough to do so. Lane 1, watch the Magician from Colombia. Van Gorkum, the consummate professional, the Dutch rider, with Ramirez on the inside. Looks like Van Gorkum shuts him down, textbook Dutch style. I'm out better than you, so I'm going to get my elbow in front. But Ramirez, known for working his magic, he's on the outside. He's going to use that track speed and try to work his way around Van Gorkum. But right now, it's Van Gorkum and Ramirez. Ramirez giving them all kind of heat as both of them pull away from the third place rider heading into the last corner. Ramirez making a move in the last corner. They're going to go double Dutch into the last finish line as it's going to be Van Gorkum, Ramirez, Diaz, and Nagasako getting that 4th place finish.
Jason, I don't know you can truly understand how difficult it was with Gorkum and Ramirez shadowed each other down that 3rd straightaway side by side. Ramirez knew the best line in that last turn, took it there. Unfortunately, wasn't able to pass him, but definitely looked good.
Definitely look good. And next up, we have another good-looking moto with Shara, Nihag, Kleshenko, Guzman, Quintanilla, Suarez, and Kafa. Corbin Shara managing to get that lane 1 position. Tori Nihag, he won his last moto, however, must not have had as fast a moto as Corbin, who got 2nd in his. So timing is always perfect. Those lap times are important. Out of the gate they go. Looks like Shara and Nihag taking up all the space down the 1st straight. Shara with a nice start. He's going to go in and out of the 1st corner in 1st, followed by Nihag. Nihag takes up a lot of room on the track, so it's hard to get around him as they style into that 2nd quarter. So it's going to be Shara and Nihag 1 and 2, followed by Kleshenko for the 3rd, a distant 3rd. So Shara, Nihag, and Kleshenko, looks like that's how they'll finish up. The battle might be for 4th, as it always is. Unfortunately, Guzman doesn't have enough, and Rios will get it.
Yeah, Shara on point right there in that lap. Definitely looked good. Nihag came back from adversity in his 1st lap, comes back for another 2nd place. Consistency is the key. You can see right here, Shara, Nihag, Kleshenko, and Rios. Those are the 4 riders making their way into the quarterfinals.
The drama builds, coming back from adversity. Nihag, Shara, Kleshenko making it through.
So the ride, in the pits while we were down there, it still seemed a little jovial because we had those riders that made their way through that 1st round of motos, Jason, and then they had some time while those other riders had to go for that last chance. So we kind of went through there pretty quick. The riders, a little bit different schedule for them, but they definitely looked excited to get moving on through the program. We have a rider down right now, unfortunately, from that last lap. That would be Suarez from Argentina. He went down just before the last jump, but as I said, those riders really looking exciting. But tension's going to build out there in the pits, Jason. As you know, the further the program goes, the longer the day goes, those riders get a little bit less friendly, a little bit more focused, and a little less talkative. But we're going to go back out there into the pits right before those main events. It's going to be interesting to see what looks we can get from the riders, what words we can get from the riders as well.
Are you going to be able to get anything from the riders before the main event?
There's a few riders on the circuit like Mariana Pajón, especially in the women's class. They're super jovial. They're happy. They're waving. They're blowing kisses on the gate. And just before the gate drops, they get ready. On the men's side, you usually don't see that. You're usually focused. You already see some focus on some of the riders out there. You can also see some of the pressure on some of these guys going towards that title, maybe building a little bit, because some simple mistakes, which do happen in BMX from time to time, but some simple mistakes for these top 5 riders who've been ultra consistent isn't something that you see. Right now, it looks like Sylvain Andre, he's been under the weather, but he said he's feeling better today than he did yesterday. We saw Connor Fields have some good laps, Corbin Shara as well. And then Tori Nihag, couple of seconds. He wants to be consistent, but he's going to need those first places to get that lane 1, to have the ultimate gate start for that main event. And then you have to have the perfect start to capitalize on having lane 1.
You definitely have to have a decent start, that's for sure. At least better than the guy in lane 2. Definitely better than that. So a beautiful aerial shot of this course, of this track, as you can see. All that's going on. We said it wasn't the most technical track, but if you are not a BMX person or you haven't ridden a BMX track, this probably looks a lot busier than you would think. And definitely if you might be one of the old school or mid-school BMX people, it's definitely, there's a lot of pedaling going on, just not on the straightaways. Most of the pedaling is actually done in the first straightaway between jumps and then in the corners. So then it gets actually very tactical as you're going around the track. So it's a matter of maintaining your speed as well as keeping pace of where you are in and amongst the other group of riders. So it gets very tactical out there. And then, of course, as the day wears on, it comes down to fitness, muscle endurance, and all that technical sports science-y training stuff. As we see up on the gate, we see Kyle Evans shaking it out, trying to keep those legs loose. Next to him, James Palmer, looking to make a name for himself. He has been training quite hard. Tori Nihag, I see. Follow them on Instagram. They make their trips down to San Diego for some good weather, good training weather. They seem to have a lot of fun with the training. So James Palmer has definitely been stepping it up this year, finding his way into semis and almost main events. Kyle Evans, same thing. Many of the World Cups, he's the fastest person down the hill. fastest start time. He usually gets to the semi, so he's looking to actually get in the main and seal the deal once and for all. Well, that's very possible coming off of that third-place finish in Kentucky and that Pro-Am win he had at Evansville, Indiana, so his confidence should be high as they all get ready to let it fly.
Okay, riders, random start.
8th finals, Heat 7.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Off to a good start. Looks like Palmer gets shut down. Evans straight to the front, fast feet all the way to the front. He's going to take it in the first turn and out of the first turn in first, followed by D'Souza. Palmer still finds his way back to third, so it's going to be Evans, D'Souza, and Palmer, 1, 2, and 3. Battle, as you know, will probably be for that 4th place position. Nobody wants to be in 4th as the Japanese riders in 4th, and looks like relatively safe. But right now it's Evans, D'Souza, Palmer, 1, 2, and 3. D'Souza's going to want more. Palmer's going to try to give it to D'Souza. Yamaguchi getting in there for that 4th. Masa is going to be pleased with that.
So there are your overall results. Evans, D'Souza, Palmer, Yamaguchi. Good as Gucci today. Comes across the line 4th, making his way into that quarterfinal. Definitely going to be stoked. We have one last 8th finals left.
Andre, Kimin, Sebesta, Sakakibara, Chappelle, Montenegro, Yoshi, and Hasegawa.
Sylvain Andre leading this title chase. I know we have 2 days of full racing to go ahead, day and a half at this point. Definitely going to be weighing on these riders, but we'll see. He's one of those cool, calm guys. Great attitude, and let's see how things go for him here in his 8th final.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Sebesta looking a little bit nervous before the gate drops, and it shows as he gets squeezed. Andre straight to the front. Sakakibara on the outside, but Kimon's going to slide in for that 2nd place as Sebesta finds his way back up to 3rd. So it's going to be Andre, Kimon, and Sebesta for top 3 right now as Sakakibara is holding on for 4th. So Andre going into the last corner, followed by Kimon. They seem to be pulling away quite nicely. Sebesta and Sakakibara 3 and 4. Sakakibara has some problems with Sebesta and the Argentinian Montenegro making a play. So it looks like Sebesta's in, but Sakakibara and Montenegro are going to have to wait to see what the camera says and the timing says for the official.
Yeah, they had a good battle going through that turn, through the last turn. Sakakibara came on the inside, was able to pull next to Sebesta, came across the line virtually at the same time. But as you said, Montenegro was right there on their heels, waiting for any mistake. But as you see, the official result will be Andre, Kimon, Sebesta, and Sakakibara.
Oh, heartbreaker for Montenegro. Sakakibara making it through by the hair of his chinny chin chin. Sebesta, Kimon, and Andre. Great race by Sebesta, getting shut down early out of the gate. So that'll be good for his confidence. Sakakibara not riding like he normally does. So I'm sure he and his coach, Luke Medill, will be having some discussions about strategy as the day moves on.
So, Jason, coming back from a tight race like that, in that 4th place position, how do you get your mindset back to being just thinking of how you're going to get the best start leading into turn number 1 in your next race on the track?
You know what? I was just thinking about that, Pete, because I was watching Kai Sakakibara, who's not riding
Random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Gotta love this track here in Santiago del Estero as they come down the gate over the first double roller, then step up, step double, step down. Don't want to forget about that step down as we follow Torres into the men's side of the pro section as they hit double number 1, double number 2, tight roller, and then another double into the 2nd corner. Tight and smooth as we go. Rhythm roller, step double, double, roller, roller, and 3 more rollers into that last corner. Might want to stay low and keep it flow as you have this step tabletop, step double, and then another double in the last straight as Keeman manuals on in for our GoPro lap.
Yeah, that's the track here in Santiago del Estero for stop number 5 of the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup. Jason Richardson, I'm Pete Deluski. You're getting a view of the track here, 384 meters. One of these tracks that have been a staple of the circuit. The kids love to see those riders come here. The riders love to come here to see the fans. And today we're going to see some great racing, Jason, for the rest of the day as we are on that stop number 5 of that World Cup tour. Tomorrow here we'll have those World Cup finals. So we're into single elimination racing. These riders know they have to make their way through if they want to have that chance at that overall title chase.
That's right. Top 4 keeps you going. 5th or worse send you home. We see this beautiful aerial view of the track, and as you can see, there's a championship side and a challenge side. The championship side being that 8-meter tall hill, challenge side being that 5-meter hill. All the heat will be done and shown on that tall hill as we see this beautiful aerial view of this track. Great facility. See the soccer field off to that, and if you can see just to the right, to the corner of the top right of the screen, they're building a brand new swimming complex. So Santiago del Estero definitely embracing the culture of sport, and more importantly, the culture of BMX, as we are here in this beautiful day. Not a cloud in the sky. Weather is perfect. Just a breeze, no wind that we can complain about. And the track surface couldn't be more perfect, Pete.
So we had those early qualifiers getting these riders through. We've already been through the quarterfinals, the last chance. Now we're going to make our way into the quarterfinals for the elite women. That's going to be to start things up. As Jason said, top 4 move on. They'll move on to that semifinal. Top 4 at each of those. The 8 women will make that way into the final. And again, as we said, important points. Top 3 women right now looking to make their way for an overall title. Laura Smulders leads the field, but she had a crash earlier on. She was able to come back and compete, but it's going to be affecting her throughout the rest of the day. Simone Christensen started her day off with a victory, as well as Mariana Pajon. Those are the 3 women in the title chase, and we're going to get to see them go up on the hill right now, Jason, and get into their quarterfinal and kick things off.
Yes, quarterfinal Heat 1 women, elite women, Bondarenko, George, Afremova, Suvorova, and Hatakeyama. Top 4 will make it on. And as Pete mentioned, all the major players have qualified. Eyes are on Bondarenko, only 20 years old, currently ranked 4th. Best finish was a 2nd place. She's riding a Chase bicycle, and she is known for the strong first straightaways.
We've had a lot.
Consistency. Sorry about that, Pete.
No problem. We've had a great surge of talent come through Russia, and we'll start seeing things here with Bondarenko, and she also has Sororova, both from Russia, in this race, as well as another countrywoman. Let's get ready with their quarterfinal number 1 here in Santiago at del Estero.
Danny George off to a nice start. After that first moto win, she might be feeling kind of confident. However, she gets squeezed out by both 2 of the 3 Russian contingent. So we have Bondarenko, Afremova, and George, 1, 2, and 3. George looking to make up some ground, but right now Bondarenko is handling business into that 2nd corner as she comes out flying nicely and smoothly with her countrywoman in tow. Bondarenko heading into the last corner, that carbon fiber wheel on the back wheel. So Bondarenko, Afremova, and George, 1, 2, and 3. Battles probably for that all-important 4th place, as it's going to be George falling back to 4th as Suvorova, the other Russian, just beats George out.
Yeah, just as we said, the talent from Russia's came on strong, and you see right there, top 3 of the women in that class all advance on with Danny George from the United States of America. So those are going to be your 4 qualifiers that'll make their way onto the semifinal. So they have one more race to try to advance into today's main event. So it's going to be interesting to see for them as they come across the line strong. Bondarenko, Afremova, Sorova, and George, those were your top 4. And now we move on to these next 3 races. Each one of them seems to have one of the title contenders in it. As you can see right here, it was all Bondarenko and Afremova out in front of that race.
Yeah,
Jason.
Bondarenko looking to make, I don't know if she can technically get the overall title, but she definitely will be messing with the 3 women that have a shot at the title who are up next. So, official, George with the 4th, Suvorova with the 3rd, Afremova 2nd, and Bondarenko winning that quarterfinal. They will move on to the semifinal. Next up, we have Pajon, Smulders, Hausman, Tano, and Bolle.
So we have 2 of the title contenders here racing each other for the first time. You see right now, ranked third overall, Mariana Pajon, two-time Olympic champion from South America. The crowd is going to go crazy, but Mariana said, I can't wait to race Laura Smulders head-to-head. They're great competitors. They're great friends. So here we go. Time for them to race each other for the first time today here in their quarterfinal.
Yeah. And they gave themselves some space on the gate. You see Laura Smulders with a disc brake, which is something relatively new to BMX. So Pajon and Smulders straight to the front. I gotta say, Smulders looks like she's taking it a bit easy, as Pajon and Smulders may know something we don't. However, it's going to be Pajon and Smulders 1 and 2, with the Dutch rider in third. Japanese rider looking to put on some pressure. She jumps into third place, so giving it to Huisman. Huisman goes back to fourth, but right now it's all Pajon and Smulders. Smulders really carrying herself safely through, as we have Pajon, Smulders, Tano, and Huisman.
Yeah, Smulders was holding her arm pretty gingerly after that crash. I saw her in the pits. We were trying to interview her. She didn't really want to talk. She was getting some work done by the physiologist. But as you can see right here, she was able to hold on around the track this time for that second place finish. She knows she just has to make it in the main to be consistent. Mariana Pajon wants to go out there and win. No reason to do all the battling in that quarterfinal. Do it in that main event when she is a little bit of an advantage over those two riders in the back. She knew she was going to be able to do it. No disrespect to those women. But Laura Smulders, past world champion, current overall champion from last year. She makes her way through with Pajon, Tano, and Huisman.
Yes, Smulders, my guess is, it wasn't a full gate, so there was a little bit of space, so she was able to manage herself and play that strategically. Right now, though, Hernandez, Restrepo, Asuero, Bao, and Teixeira from Canada. So only 5 girls on the gate, 4 to go. However, what that means is if you are in 4th place, that means that 5th place rider has the whole track to work with nobody contesting them. Again, nobody wants to be in 4th place in these single elimination rounds with Stephanie Hernandez in lane 1.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Hernandez having a pretty sketchy practice session yesterday. However, she usually comes on strong later in the day, and as we see, she just edges out Bao to come out of the first turn in first. Bao dropping back to third, bowing down to 3rd place right now. So it's going to be Stephanie Hernandez, followed by Restrepo, and Bao in 3rd. Looks like Teixeira just jumping into that 4th place position, again, using that track. So right now it's Hernandez, Restrepo bonking that jump going out of the rhythm section. So it's going to be Hernandez, Restrepo, Bao, and a battle. Looks like Teixeira loses it back to Asuero, unfortunately. So Teixeira losing out on that 4th place position. Watch the start. Restrepo not off to the greatest start, but it looks like the Ecuadorian gave Restrepo some room to dive in there for that 2nd place. Hernandez taking it from start to finish. Very calm, cool, and measured with a little lunge to the finish line. Bao with the strong 3rd place finish.
We keep talking about the consistency of these women, and the level goes up as you see your overall results. Last year, remember, we had a lot of these girls that had a little bit of an issue with that first jump, and so far we have not seen any of that as we move on to the last heat of the quarterfinals with Christensen, Carnival, Diaz sisters, and Peterstone.
Yes, the Diaz sisters, but all eyes are on Simone Christensen.
For a win to start the day off, it's going to be definitely good. The Diaz sisters ride here a lot. Carnival from Brazil has also been strong as of late, so it'll be interesting to see if Christensen, she says she's usually not a fast starter. Winning that first moto today put a lot of confidence in her, so we'll see how that goes through as we hear in her quarterfinal.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Danish national champion off to a great start. That would be Christensen. Stavow gets spit out the back as we see the Diaz sisters go 2 and 3 into the first corner, but Stavow finding her way to 4th. But Peterson's not going to give up on that. The Latvian's going to fight for that 4th place finish, but right now it's all Christensen followed by Diaz. Stavow splitting the Diaz sisters. She jumps into 3rd place. Right now it's Simone Christensen sneaking a couple pedals in on the rhythm and into the last corner as she comes out in first, followed by Diaz and Stavow. Looks like the other Diaz sister is going to have her work cut out for her as Peterson is going to make a charge, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, Christensen again keeping consistent, 2 wins, sitting 2nd overall in that title. That little bit of the chink in the armor with Laura Smulders going down could give her a little bit of the crack of the door open. And right now she's having a crack at the track, taking 2 wins here in her early rounds. And as you said, Carnival taking that 3rd place away from the Diaz sisters. And unfortunately for Peterson, her day is done.
Pretty interesting. Christensen, Diaz, DeVoe, and Diaz. Peterson, unfortunately, not getting through. I think Christensen might be the silent sleeper in all of this. We have some drama building as Smulders is not riding like her normal self. Pahone is, however, Christensen looks to have stepped it up since the last World Cup. So it looks like we have a true battle. Next time we see the elite women will be the half semifinals. Full gates there, Pete.
Yeah, and that's where the racing's going to get interesting. And as we said, these races are do or die, but nothing is more do or die than that semifinal. You want to make your way into the main event, of course, but you got to get through that semi as well. And that semifinal here is going to be the hardest race of the day for these elite women that have been on track so far. So we'll see how things go. So you can see we have some practice times. You know, practice gives you a good indication, but sometimes riding by yourself, riding with a less riders in the gate, lets you get more confidence. But you can see Kyle Evans was pretty consistent somehow.
So Kyle Evans has been on the track 4 times, and he's gotten the 4. You know, every time he's been out there, he's been the fastest down the hill. Vincent Pelluard with a nice start as well. Twan Van Gent, as we know, known for those starts, but Kyle Evans just dropping the hammer every time he comes down the hill.
So now the riders have a little bit of a break, I believe, before we get into those elite men quarterfinals. And we can see the same thing, same gate practice times here. Mariana Pahon, Laura Smulders sit on the top of that list. With Afromova from Russia, the young woman coming up, making her way through. And you can see those are the only 3 women on that start time, on those perfect timing for those 8 top results.
Yeah, it's the Pahon Smulders show. And, you know, just hundredths of seconds separate the two. So really it's the difference of, you know, was it possibly a long pause in the gate or short pause in the gate? But yes, definitely Pahon and Smulders showing a lot of consistency. Afromova should be proud. She's amongst those 2 as far as it relates to hill times, that's for sure.
So as we have this break in the action, Jason, the guys are back. Guys and women are back there, cooling down, and then, you know, just staying warm as well, cooling down from that lap, but staying consistently warm to get ready for their next race. And interesting time there. When you have some time to think, go back, what would you have done after you had a good race out there? How would you carry that momentum of a good finish after you had a good lap moving on to the next, into the quarterfinals in your program?
You know, after you have a good lap and you're qualifying through and you're in the day, you know, you get into this program. You just do this system, as we can see these guys fly down this last straight, making it look easy, lunging to that finish line. But you get those finishes. Danny George there, a little bit of style over the first jump. That's where we see Smulders going down straight onto that right arm. But, you know, you go down there, you cool down, you kind of get into a program. You have you get into a rhythm, so to speak. You cool down. I said that a million times, but that's very important. You cool down, you get your breathing down, and then you go have a drink, and maybe you talk to your coach, maybe take care of a couple of things, mechanical or otherwise, but really you find your flow and you create a rhythm and a system, and then you just keep going and you keep doing the same thing. You let the intensity of the event kind of carry you through, and it's just a matter of you doing what you've been trained to do. Connor Fields showing us what he was trained to do right here in the first corner.
But no matter how calm and collected you get, when you make that journey back up to the ramp, now your heart rate just naturally is going up because you're going up that ramp, you're getting ready, you're starting to think the process of how you're going to get that perfect gate again. Some riders may overthink it, some riders may just wait till the last minute, but as we've seen so far, a lot of those riders that have been consistent seem to have, as you said, their consistent program down to a T, taking each race, each step exactly the same, and let the chips fall once that gate drops.
Yeah, I always say fight for your setup. And as we see here with the women standing, Smulders, Christensen, Pahon, and Bondarenko do a great job at fighting for that setup. But as you're talking about that, it's a very special walk when you're walking up the hill or behind the gate before a quarterfinal, semifinal, main event. It's a very special walk because you cannot deny the fact that it's a semifinal before a World Cup. You cannot deny that it's the main event of a World Cup. You cannot deny that it means a lot to you. So So these are the things that we're all keeping in check. So rather than just kind of lie to yourself and say, oh, it's just another race, and some people do that, but the bottom line is that you can put yourself in a position to where you can execute your plan to the best of your ability day in and day out, regardless of what lap it is, what day it is, what moto it is, and what's on the line. As we see the men standing, 5-way battle, beginning with Sylvain Andre, Dave Vandenberg, Nijhog Fields, and Van Gent. 150 points gets awarded for a first place finish. And there is not many points between first and fifth.
Yeah, we're going to have to see a few riders here have some luck on their side as far as other riders not making that final or getting very low points in that final, and then a couple of those guys lower down. But it's going to be a tight finish today. It's going to hourly carry over to tomorrow, so we'll have a better outlook as we get those riders ready up on the hill for their quarterfinal. Molina and Torres, the two favorites here, definitely in this first one of the quarterfinals. It's going to be interesting to see when they have Godet, Yoshimura, Sakakibara, De Souza, Komarov. They're going to have a good battle on their hands, but you know who the crowd's going to be behind, Jason.
The crowd definitely going to be behind or and in front of Molina and Torres, that's for sure. The Argentinian contingent. And, by the way, probably two spoilers that will mess up the points, that have a good chance at messing up the points as we get to the, in the quarterfinals, starting now. Because this is, in many cases, the quarterfinals is sometimes more difficult than the semifinals because sometimes it weeds out some of those heavy contenders. Molina looking confident, staying strong, as it were. To the camera, but definitely an interesting lineup. Notice that Sakakibara probably won't have the best start lane choice given his barely qualifying out of the 8th final. Next up, Elite Men quarterfinals, and as you know, 4th or better will get them to the next semifinal. 5th or worse, not so much. Start list: Molina, Torres, Komarov, De Souza, Ardabaldella, Yoshimura, Sakakibara, and Godet. Godet, a veteran, next to the young Australian national champ, Sakakibara. And on the inside, we have two Argentinians, Torres and Molina. Molina in 1, Torres in 2.
If you want to hear the crowd erupt, it's going to be when these two riders are out front, especially in this quarterfinal, trying to make their way into the semifinal. But let's get ready for quarterfinal number 1 of the Elite Men here at the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup. Santiago del Estero, Argentina, stop number 5 of 6 for the 2017 season.
Starter says we're official.
Okay, riders, let them start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
See the focus in his eyes as Molina comes flying out of lane 1, moves over. Torres doesn't even have that much room, but gets enough room to jump into second place. So De Souza looks like he's in the 3rd place position, but Sakakibara is going to contest that. Right now, though, we have Molina with Torres taking a look over his shoulder. De Souza and Sakakibara again in 4th, fighting for his life. But right now, it is the Argentinian contingent 1 and 2, followed by Brazil in 3, with the battle. Sakakibara in 4th. Doesn't look like he will get through, barely, but Torres, Molina, De Souza, Sakakibara, and Ardabaldella have to wait for the photo finish.
Yeah, good start from the two Argentinians on the inside. You see Komarov did not have a good start. He was charging back at the end, but it wasn't to be today. It was going to be Torres and Molina who had a good run out in front of quarterfinal number 1 here for the Elite Men.
Yeah, and I got to say, De Souza's been showing up quite well and consistently, looking pretty strong. I mean, nothing really phasing him. He might be able to slip through. Sakakibara again with that 4th place, making it through. De Souza with the 3rd. Molina and Torres 2nd and 1st respectively, doing Argentina proud. Next up, quarterfinal heat 2, we have Shira, Evans, Van Gorkum, Palmer, Marino, Klashenko, Rios, and Diaz. Pete, what do you think?
This is going to be stacked. Evans has been on point. You saw those great times he had. Shira's been looking good as well. The Cowboy, as they call him from now on, out in front. Our current world champion, newly crowned just last month. He's looking to make his way here through the quarterfinal into today's semifinal for the Elite Men. But there are 7 other riders. Definitely want to keep him out behind them as we get ready to drop quarterfinal number 2 here in Argentina.
Yes, this will truly be a test because he's right next to Kyle Evans, who's known to get down that hill very fast. Out of the gate, it looks like Evans blew his gate. Being next to the world champ was too much. Corbin Schirra, the Cowboy, straight to the front, followed by the Dutch rider Van Gorkum and Palmer. So it looks like we have Schirra, Van Gorkum, and Palmer. Palmer getting a little crazy into the second corner as Evans finds his way back up to third, and Klashenko's putting some heat on Palmer. Right now, though, it's Schirra, Van Gorkum, Evans, with Palmer in fourth.
Yeah, right now, Palm Dog Millionaire is going to make his way into the semifinal, but it's going to be behind Schirra, Van Gorkum, and Evans. A great run up there for Evans, hitting that gate, coming back behind those two, but no one better on the track right now than Corbin Schirra, Jason.
Yeah, we talked about Team GB and how they have those long bikes. They really are good down the first straight. However, you need a perfect gate when you have a bike that long. As you saw, Evans hit the gate. He did manage to get back to the third, but Cowboy Corbin, keeping it consistent, and the consummate professional of Jelle Van Gorkum, easy second place qualification. So Schirra, Van Gorkum, Evans, and Palmer getting through. Unfortunately, Klashenko, Murillo, and the rest will have to wait another day. Quarterfinal heat number 3, we have Andre, Nijhag, Van Gent, Jones, Naverstad, White, Nagasako, and Sebesta. This one is going to be a burner.
Yeah, stacked quarterfinal here. We had a smaller field, but it just meant we had a lot of fast riders. And you see right here, Sylvain Andre has a perfect day going so far, winning his first moto, winning that 8th final, and he's looking to do the same in the quarterfinal as they're loaded in the gate. He's the title contender right now, leading the charge. He has that red number plate, number 2 at the World Championships. But we'll see how things kick off. Nijhag definitely wants to be up there as well, and Van Gent anytime can take a win.
Yeah, that red plate signifying he is the points leader. So Andre out to a good start. Spits Tori Nijhag out the back, but Tori's going to make some room in the first corner and find his way in third as Naverstad didn't shut him down. Van Gent in second, just behind Andre. So it's going to be Andre, Van Gent, and Nijhag. Nijhag taking up a lot of room. Looks like we lose Van Gent. He is out of the running just like that. So it's going to be Andre, Nijhag, and Jones. Jones finding his way into third with the 4th place rider looking to make up for some insurance. The Japanese rider, he will get through just barely in front of Sebesta. So it's Andre, Nijhag, Jones, and Nagasako with a strong 4th place finish.
Yeah, definitely a good run there from Nagasako. Could see Tanner Sebesta really pouring it on out of the last turn. It was just a little bit too little, too late. And unfortunately, you can see right here, Twan Van Gent bonks, tries to boost that jump. And sometimes you must question yourself if you're going to be able to make it. He over-pulled, it looked like, and he just took off, Jason.
Yeah, that little roller between doubles number 1 or 2 and 3, that little roller in between can really cause for a mistake. So if you over-jump or under-jump, it can mess you up quite a bit, as it did with Van Gent. So Andre, Nijhag, Jones, and Nagasako will be the 4 that move on to the semifinal from that round. As we head into the final quarter, heat number 4, Elite Men, Fields, Vandenberg, Kimmin, the Magician, Peluard, Yamaguchi, Palominos, Bensink. We know Peluard has the ability to get down that hill. But all eyes are on Connor Fields, Olympic champion, Olympic gold. He won his first round. He won the 8th final. And he's won some of these before.
Yeah, he's won here in the past. He won earlier this season, so he's looking to get another win in this day to hopefully make an advancement in those overall points. But let's get through the quarterfinals first here, the last of the quarterfinals for the Elite Men.
Connor Fields shuts down Vandenberg quite handily. So it looks like Fields straight to the front. Vandenberg in tow with Keeman. Looks like Ramirez going straight from 5th to 3rd, coming out of the first corner. So it's going to be Fields, Vandenberg, Ramirez. Keeman might be in some trouble in 4th place. We'll see. Right now it's all Connor Fields, known for his suave smoothness in those rhythm sections. Vandenberg keeping it upright as Ramirez is in 3rd. So it's Fields, Vandenberg, Ramirez, and the fight will be for 4th, but Keeman looks like he has it.
Yeah, it was definitely a good comeback from Kinman. He was back there, but you can see down here, down this second straightaway, Fields just flowing through the track. Vandenberg looking smooth on the outside, consistent. And that turn number 2, Jason, that's where we see a lot of moves happen. But right there, it was just follow the leader. That was the best move for Connor Fields that he could see in that lap throughout the track.
Yeah, Ramirez looking over his shoulder as he crosses the line. third place. The official fields, Vandenberg, Ramirez, and Keeman, Bensing, Peliard, Palominos, and Yamaguchi, unfortunately, are done for the day. Next time we see the elite men will be the semifinal.
Yeah, so now we're on to the semifinals for each of the classes. We have about a 10-minute break for these riders to get cooled down, collected, get their thoughts back on how they can get top 4 in this next run. As we said, it's going to be the most important race of the day until that final, and it's definitely a lot of weight on some of these riders' shoulders that have that title contention. Von Gent goes down. He was the one furthest back in the points, so still top 4 are going to be consistently trying to make their way as they have all day into that main event, and who will be able to chip away, if anyone, at the lead that Sylvain Andre has on the rest of the field in the elite men. We'll have to wait and see when we get to that semifinal and main event.
Yes, it'll be close because Vandenberg has 395 points and Sylvain Andre has 495. So we know that 150 points is awarded to first place. So that gap can be closed. We did lose a player, Twan Van Gent, out in the quarterfinal. So that's unfortunate for him. However, it is now a 4-way battle for elite men. Still a 3-way battle for elite women. And heading into the semis, as you said, Pete, it's one of the most important races. It's kind of like you have 2 jobs. When, you know, the work is racing and getting on those podiums, but there's 2 jobs. And one job is getting to the main, and then the second job is actually executing once you get to the main. So it's getting to that main so that you can actually do your work, is how I like to put it. And getting to that main is a job in and of itself. So we get too ahead of ourselves, we end up losing track of where we are. So a lot of the riders going back after this race, cooling down, putting their feet up, getting some hydration, and they'll be focusing in on, as you say, getting that perfect gate start or that perfect lap.
The fans, Jason, we love to see fans at BMX races, and this is one of the biggest ones that we've seen throughout the year on the World Cup Tour. A lot of appreciative people here for the 3-hour program, excited. They've been here since Thursday when we kicked off on practice, or actually Thursday we weren't even doing practice. We were out here doing some interviews with riders. There was already people here checking it out, seeing what the buzz was all about here in Santiago del Estero, and excited to have the UCI BMX World Cup back here for the 5th time in the series history, one of the staples of the World Cup Tour.
Yeah, South America, Argentina in particular, always a great BMX country with the likes of Christian Besserine, Javier Colombo. Now we have Molina, Villegas, Torres, Ramiro Marino. So a lot of talent has come out of this country on a world level, big level, and we've been welcomed here with open arms from the city of Santiago del Estero, as well as Argentina, as BMX Argentina, being great hosts.
Yeah, and then on the elite women's side, we've had those Diaz sisters. They're definitely standouts. Gabrielle Diaz being consistently on the tour, I believe since Supercross started. She's 36 years of age, and she feels younger than ever. I spoke with her the other day at the hotel, and she was excited to get out here once again. But at the same point, she knows she's passing the baton on to her sister, but they're very competitive against each other. And we can see she's in semi-main event number 1, one of the Diaz sisters. So it'll be interesting to see if she can get the crowd erupt here. They're all going to definitely be cheering for Mariana Pajon as well. She's in semi-final number 2. But of course, they want to see the Diaz sisters in today's main event.
Well, I tell you, Gabriella must have qualified pretty well because she has 3rd lane pick in her semi. So she might be 36, but she's definitely holding her own. There's 8 people that fit on the gate. She's picking 3rd, and that's out of 16 people, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, and as I said, those sisters are very competitive. Well, in the semifinal number 1, they're going to be ultra competitive because they're both in it. They're both trying to make their way through the program. You would not hear the crowd get any louder, I don't think, as of yet today, if both of them were able to do it. But it's going to be tough. That's a stacked semi number 1.
Yes, it is a stack. And then semi 2, we have Christensen, Pajon, and Smolders, all 3 vying for vying for that title. They will be in that next semi, so we will see if they all go through or cancel each other out or anything in between.
Yeah, and as we said, Smulders had that crash. She rode gingerly that last lap. So now it's going to be a true test of how well she can recover from that crash. A pretty vicious crash. You said she got sideways over that first jump, was run into. She was able to ride off at that point. But you know, Jason, sometimes you feel okay. You get off the track, you collect yourself. The adrenaline rush goes away. The pain sometimes overtakes everything else. But a true champion is able to bite down, make their way through the program, if at all humanly possible.
Wow, Pete, that was very poetic. True champion makes their way through. It is the truth, though. It is the truth, and look like Smulders has definitely taken a more strategic route since that wreck. Here we see Bondarenko, who I think is going to be a spoiler for those three women in the points chase, because she's been really consistent and been by herself essentially. And again, she will be in the first group of semi, and she will not be racing any of those three in that second semi. So that's pretty interesting. As we see here, Pahone and Smulders. Smulders kind of backing off, taking it nice and easy down that on the track in general, letting Pahone kind of run away with it. So Smulders definitely taking a more strategic route since that wreck, just getting through, making sure she qualifies. But I feel like she's going to be forced to race with 8 women on the gate in that semi.
Well, there's no doubt about that, Jason, and we're just going to, like you said, we're going to see what level of the pain she acquired from that crash. But again, racing against Mariana Pahone, sometimes it's just easier to sit back. You know they're taking top 4. You want to make your way through. And right there, she might have played the smartest hand that she had to be dealt with right now. Let's see how things work out as we get ready to see those women in just about 3 minutes in those elite women's semifinals. And then on the men's side, Jason, it's a who's who of top riders here, and you see these 2 Argentinians standing out. Molina is being one of those fast riders, putting his name on the World Cup Tour, and it's going to be interesting to see what he can do today in the semifinal.
Yes, very interesting. As you can see down the first straight, Torres didn't even get a great start, but D'Souza did not move over. So all you young BMXers watching this race, when your dad tells you to go inside, it's probably because you can go inside. There's a lot of room that we don't realize is there. So a lot of these riders are slipping in on the inside, making it happen, as we see Shira and Van Gorkum, 2 well-established professionals, making it look easy. With Evans trying to get in the main event. He usually gets to those semis, but getting to those mains is something else. Speaking of Great Britain and Kyle Evans, I got a message from Mad Addy saying hi to Mad Addy, so I wanted to give her that shout. Watching all the way from GB.
And you know Kyle Evans wants to do well. He's been on the podium before at a World Cup, but it was in Manchester, his home track. A lot of riders, you know, flourish at their home track. Right here, we don't really have any standout riders that ride consistently on this Argentinian track.
Correct.
So to definitely put the field at an even level, but at the same point, take nothing away from Kyle Evans. He was super fast that day. He's been super fast. Seems to run in a little bit of trouble here and there. Could today be another day where he breaks through to make his way into that main event? I'd like to see it. I know a lot of Great Britain and English fans would like to see it. So it'd be cool to see things like that happen. But then again, he's going to be in one of those semis that are ultra stacked for sure.
Fighting Andre and Nijhog if he does get through. Nijhog, another gentleman who's been very consistent. He's sitting number 3 in points, and he hasn't won one of these yet. So I know Tori will be happy with the top 3, but he's looking to actually win. As we head up to the hill, semifinal, heat number 1, elite women, Bondarenko, Stivo, Afromova, George, Bao, Tano, Diaz, and Diaz.
Semi-final at a World Cup, Jason. How do you chase away those butterflies when you just have moments before the gate drops?
It's all breathing. It's all breathing. I mean, breathing and the visualization and the breathing and the visualization. Usually I would ask riders to find a word that can trigger them and center them again real quick. And learning to trust that you've done enough to be there so that you don't have to think when you're up there.
They probably need to make that word semi-final, because that word on its own is scary. And you can see right here the younger of the Diaz sisters lined up on the gate in gate 8. She's definitely going to erupt the fans here.
But as we said, her older sister, Gabrielle Diaz, been around for quite some time, but one of the leaders in the sport of elite women's BMX. Definitely a role model on and off the track, and it's great to see her today in lane 7 for the semifinal, Jason.
Next to her, young Japanese rider of Tano, making her way through, finding her way in the semi. She came a long way from Japan. And next to her, number 388, Judy Bao, always known to get in those main events, working on inching up past those 5th and 4th place positions, more into the podium spot. Danny George, they call her the Danimal. College student, very bright, definitely known to go for it.
I thought it was Death Grip Danny.
That too. Afremova next to her, the Russian, coming out of gate 3.
That's the youngest of the Russian stars. Definitely been one of the highlights of their program so far this year.
Priscilla Stivo Carnaval, running my favorite, number 93, known for her style over the jumps and her tenacity down the track. And Bondarenko, she's had a great day so far, looking consistent down the first straight and just very textbook style, point A to point B, but definitely getting the job done. Could be the spoiler for the weekend.
So we'll get ready with semifinal number 1 here for the elite women. Stop number 5, the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup here in Argentina. Let's get ready to see the top 4 women make their way into today's main event.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Focused eyes as they come out of the gate. Looks like Stivo gets spit out the back. Bondarenko, look at Danny George on the outside with a great start. Not going to be able to get over enough as the 2 Russians slide in just on her. So Bondarenko, Afremova, and George, 1, 2, and 3. Bondarenko taking it in the second corner. Stivo finding her way in 4th. But right now, Bondarenko, Afremova, and George running away with it. Stivo may be in trouble in 4th. We'll have to wait and see what happens as we get out of this last corner. Bondarenko, Afremova, George, 1, 2, and 3. They will most likely be moving on. Eyes are on Stivo as she just barely makes it with the 4th place.
So definitely interesting to see those 2 Russians continue their consistency throughout the day, 1st and 2nd, and what a great gate start. And you see Danny George from that middle putting the power down and definitely getting out there. She stuck a little bit on the outside of turn number 1, but she stuck through it in that 3rd place spot. And as Jason said, Carnival having the ride of her life, trying to make her way around there in that 4th place spot, but she makes her way into today's main event.
Congratulations, Bondarenko, Afremova, George, and Stivo. You have made the elite women's final. Unfortunately, Bao, Diaz, Tano, and Diaz will have to live to fight another day. As we head up the hill, heat number 2, Christensen, Pahon, Suvarova, Smolders, Hernandez, Restrepo, Huisman, and Azuero.
So as Jason alluded to earlier, we have 3 of those title contenders. Right here, the young Ecuadorian Azuro in lane 8, looking to make her way into what I would believe would be her first main event on the World Cup Tour.
It would be her first main event. I was in the pits earlier. She was teaching Kai Sakakibara how to curse in Spanish. But next to Azuero is Huisman. Then Restrepo. Number 107, showing some consistency, as the Colombian riders do. They're a pretty complete package with speed and technical skills. Stephanie Hernandez, had a great conversation with her yesterday about all things BMX, life, and politics even. Next to her is Laura Smolders. We don't know if she's nursing a sore arm or just playing possum.
So gate number 3 is going to be Natalia Sorova from Russia, another one of those standout Russian BMX elite athletes. And now we move down to the fast end of this lap, a little bit faster than the rest. Mariana Pahon, number 100 from Colombia, coming out at gate 2. And then we'll move to the very inside. That will be Simone Christensen, gate number 1. She's had a consistent day with victories in each and every one of those laps. So is Mariana Pahon. Will be interesting to see who can take the win here in that semifinal and get that better gate pick as they get moved into that main event. But right now it's semifinal number 2 for the elite women here in Santiago del Estero in Argentina for stop number 5 of the UCI World Cup.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Off they go. It looks like all the players got a pretty decent start as we see Pahone, Christensen, and Smolders neck and neck. Looks like Christensen drops back to fourth. Hernandez just on the outside. She might be fighting for fourth now. But right now it's Pahone, Smolders, Christensen. Hernandez falling back to fifth. That's going to be kind of crazy. So Pahone looking quite strong as she pulls away from Smolders and Christensen. Looking to see who's in fourth place, but right now, Pahone handling it. Christensen in third with Smolders in two, and looks like Hernandez just getting back up to fourth place again for the final qualifying position.
Yeah, so those women were three handlebar, and down that first straightaway. You see perfect gates for each of them as they go down and put the power down this first straightaway. Jason, leading into turn number one, nobody wanted to back down. Mariana Pahone definitely didn't. She came out of there with the lead. And Laura Smolders and Simone Christensen had a good battle. And as you said, Stephanie Hernandez was able to make her way back up into that fourth and final qualifying position, leaving Sarova, Huseman, Arzuzzo, and Restapo out of today's main event.
Yes, definitely Pahone, Smolders, Christensen, and Hernandez on another level. Restrepo and Azuero so close. Would have been great to see them in the final. However, they will have to wait for tomorrow.
So now we get the elite men making their way up to the gate. And these are going to be two stacked semifinals. Great racing right there from the elite women. We've got the main event set for them. Let's get the top 16 riders in today's semifinals ready, loaded in the gate, Jason. And it's going to be two fast laps around the track here in Santiago del Estero.
Definitely. Every time you have a full gate of 8, definitely makes for some wild racing. And as I said, the riders are comfortable on this track, which means that they are free to really race each other versus racing the track. So they're gonna have the confidence to make moves, go and be aggressive out there. So if it gets tight or close, we're gonna see a lot of good racing action, especially between those 3rd and 6th place positions in these semifinals. And as you know, 4th or better will get them to the final, get them to the money round. The main event, that's what they are here for, is to get in that main event so that they can then pursue their dream.
Well, yeah, semifinal number 1, Torres, Shara, Molina, Van Gorkum, Ramirez, Kinman, Nyhog, and Jones. That could be a main event any given day at any international race. And you know Torres and Molina want to do nothing more than get into today's main event.
For sure. Nobody would be surprised if that was a main event at any World Cup or World Championship. So it's really just going to come down. I mean, I'm glad I'm not racing. That's for sure. I'm glad I get to watch and call the action.
And then when we move into semifinal number 2, again, we have all the title contenders thrown in there. Not only all in the same semi, but they all have 1, 2, and 3 in the gate picks. So it's going to be interesting to see. And you have 5 other riders in there that are definitely going to be on point when the time comes for the gate to drop. But let's get ready for semi-final number 1, Jason.
Heat number 1, Torres, Shara, Molina, Van Gorkum, the Magician, Ramirez, Kiman, Jones, and Nyhog. Not often you see Nyhog on the outside, but he was using that strategy in Belgium, picking lane 8 on purpose. So Shara will definitely be tested as he will most likely line up next to Molina, who's known for those strong starts. We'll introduce you to the riders. We see young Spider-Man getting carried down the stands. Halloween is coming.
And you know Torres and Molina aren't afraid to make drastic moves in these turns if need be. Look for it in turn number 2. If someone is sitting back there 5th, even 4th place in this semifinal, carnage could happen and occur, and it's usually where we see it right heading in to turn number 2. Everybody wants to get that inside line to be able to bring in full speed and carry full speed out of it, but you can only fit one bike at a time, and we'll see who can do that when
We'll see if Tori can throw his weight around coming out of lane 8 in this first semi. If anyone can do it, he can with his signature grab the camera move. Next to him, we have the Kiwi from New Zealand, Trent Jones, currently living in Las Vegas. Next to him, former junior and elite world champion Nick Kieman, part of the Dutch Clone Army.
And he's our official onboard cameraman for this event.
And he's a good one at that. The Magician, Carlos Ramirez. Always has a smile, and he's always got some moves. Lane 4, the consummate professional, the vet, Jelle Van Gorkum, Olympic silver medalist to boot.
Good to see him back on track here in Argentina.
Yeah, he's looking strong. And Molina, known for the heat down the first straight, staying strong as he takes it to the front that last lap, that's for sure. Current world champion, Corbin, Cowboy, Shira, doing it for Daylight Cycle in Tucson, Arizona.
Cowboy up, Corbin.
And Torres. Pete, you mentioned those turns. Torres was known last year for making some wild moves in that last corner, keeping his speed and staying very low. He has pole position in lane 1.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet because they haven't needed it, but if they will anywhere, it'll be right now in semifinal number 1 for the elite men here at the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup, stop number 5 in Argentina. Here we go with the semifinal.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Looks like Corbin wheelies out of the gate. That's unfortunate. Argentina straight to the front. Molina and Torres is probably going to tuck it in just under Van Gorkum, and he does. So it's Molina and Torres 1 and 2 with Van Gorkum in third, or Keeman in third, and Van Gorkum in fourth. So Corbin Shira looks like he's hunting. One of the Dutch riders gets wild in the rhythm section. Molina, Torres, Van Gorkum. Looks like Keeman is out.
It's going to be Trent Jones.
Making room for Trent Jones. Corbin getting caught up by Keeman. So the official will be.
You're going to see Torres,
We can
Molina.
see Molina and Torres. Torres making sure he takes up a lot of room coming out of that last straight as they hog the last straightaway. Followed by Van Gorkum. Trent Jones finding his way in. Keeman and Shira getting caught up in that third straightaway, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the consistency run of main events is going to end for Tori Nyhog, opening the door in that points chase as he was sitting third overall. Molina, Van Gorkum, Torres, and Jones making their way into today's main event. So Trent Jones, whose trip started out pretty bad, just got a lot better as he makes his way into today's main event here in Argentina, Jason.
Yeah, congratulations to Trent Jones. He's had kind of a rough year with on and off again injuries. So to find himself in a big main event is good for him. As we head up, elite men, semi number 2, lane 8, we have Nagasako. The Uniqlo shirt. Very cool. We see some of these riders are big stars. De Souza from Brazil. Some of these riders have some great support from some pretty big companies that wouldn't normally be involved in the sport because they're stars.
Sakakibara's got a great sponsor right there, Sakakibara.
Yeah, Kai Sakakibara. So him and his sister make a great team package. So maybe looking to get in the main. Next to him is James Palmer. Nyhog didn't make the main, but this Canadian sure has a shot right now. Next to him is Kyle Evans. Other than racing in Manchester, he wants to get in a final. So let's see if he can get past this semi. I know he wants to. Dave Vandenberg, another powerhouse, coming out of lane 3 from the Netherlands. Current point leader, Sylvain Andre, the Frenchman, coming out of lane 2. And he'll be next to the Olympic gold medalist, Connor Fields, coming out of lane 1.
So a stacked semi number 2 here in Argentina. Top 4 will decide the rest of today's main event. We'll get ready to see these riders. They're loaded, they're locked, they're focused. Let's get ready to drop the gate here for semifinal number 2.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Always watching that gate start. Looks like Andre was off to a good start. So was Connor. Connor Fields just edging out Andre as they head into the first corner. Connor not afraid to throw his weight around. Sakaki Barra diving into third place. Looks like he wants to get in this main event, but right now it's all Fields and Andre as they come out of the second corner, pulling away from Sakaki Barra and Palmer. Palmer in fourth. So right now looks like there is going to be Fields, Andre, Sakaki Barra, and we will see if Palmer's going to maintain for that fourth place, and that looks to be the case as Evans with another fifth place, a disappointing fifth place, but Andre and Fields, they're going to have to look to the camera to see who actually won that semi. Fields not off to the best start, but definitely getting some great pedals down after that first jump and edging his way past Andre as they go into the last and come out of the last corner. Fields and Andre definitely on another level as compared to the rest of the field, no pun.
And Sakakibara, who's had a rough day, getting fourth every lap. Now he advances up to third, and he's in the main event. No matter how you get there. He's in today's main event, Jason. He's going to be in there with Andre, Fields, and Palmer. I'm going to make my way into the pits, see how these riders are going, as we'll be next up for that main event. We'll get you some recaps of today's racing, but we're going to get out there, get the scoop from the riders, and see how things are before today's main events
Pete,
here in Argentina.
Thanks for joining me. Get some scoop. So there you have it. Got to congratulate all the main Vakers. Definitely not easy to get into these main event finals at World Cups. Palmer getting into that main event. Sakaki Barra barely getting in every lap, so I know he's going to be pleased to be in the main event. You never know what can happen now. He has a clean slate. Andre and Fields looking to continue on with what they've been doing. First and seconds. And then Molina and Torres, the Argentinians, making their country proud, both getting in the final. They too are going to want to be on that podium. In the women, we still have the three-way battle going as Smulders, Christensen, and Pahone have all made the main. Bondarenko hasn't yet gone against those three women, however, showing that she can hold her own as she has won every lap since then. See a replay here. Sylvan Andre just looking smooth as ever with quite a lead over Tori Nyhog. See Bondarenko handling her business as well as she jumps into the second corner. Asuero waving to the crowd. A lot of great racing action thus far as we have 2 laps left of the day. Just 2 laps today to go. Elite men and women's final. Molina looking great, looking super strong. His starts have been on point all day long. Just 1 more lap. Can he do it again? And Torres as well, looking consistent. Stands have filled up. Cameraman's having some fun with some people in the stands, but the stands have filled up as we head into the main event, the finals. Round number 5, stop number 3. We are in Santiago del Estero, Argentina, where we will have a winner, 2 winners here today after these next 2 laps. We're on a little bit of a break.
John, can you hear me on that presenter mic? No, I'm trying to get John. Mikey to John. John. Can you hear anyone talking on that presenter mic?
Hello, hello, hello. We're waiting to get a scoop from the pits with the riders, and somehow.
All right, let us know when you're good to count. When I'm good to count Pete in.
There you go.
Ask him if he can give like a 30-second.
Two countrymen.
Yeah.
Proud,
Can you give us a kind of like
proud to
30
have made the
seconds
main
heads up and then
here
a
in Santiago del
standby and then
Estero
count us in, please?
for the crowd and for themselves. Mr. Torres and Molina.
They've told Jason to that. So.
Huh?
They've told Jason that we're coming here. Stand by, Pete.
See, as the sun moves position, we can see some shadowing into that second corner. What things people cannot see is some of these riders do wear contacts. Looking for Pete D in the pits.
Ready?
All right, we've had the incredible day of race action. Pete Delusky in the pits. We're here with Laura Smolders. If you saw her race starting the day off, not the way you want to do things with a crash. First of all, how are you feeling?
Feeling pretty fine now. Hand is hurting, my whole body is hurting, but well, I'm still alive, I'm still able to ride. After that crash I wasn't really sure, but got on the bike, got a few painkillers from the doctor, so I'm okay now and just holding on and trying, well, I'm in the final now, so trying the best as I can at the moment.
Yeah, so what may have been the smartest move for you in that quarterfinal, kind of took it, I would say like 60% around the track behind Mariana, then came back strong in that semifinal. As you said, now you're in that main event. It's that consistency that's going to pay off for that season overall. You have a good lead, you want to hold on to it. How are you going to be able to play things out when we get into that main in just a few moments?
Well, of course I don't really feel my 100% at the moment, but when I'm going to go on the gate in a few minutes, I'll just try my best, do the best feeling gate that I can. The pressure's on them. I'm still in first with a decent lead, so Mariana or Simona, they have to win to pass me, so I'll just do another lap and just trying to hold on with my hand, as I said. Still hurting, but I'll just do my best and see where I'll end.
All right, thanks. We know you got to get ready. Thanks for giving us some time right before the main event.
Thank you, no problem.
All right, so we saw some interesting racing there. You saw Saki Kabaro, who's had some rough runs throughout the entire day, make his way into the main event. And Tori Nighthawk, who's been the picture of consistency all season, goes out in that first turn in that semifinal. But we have Palm Dog Millionaire making his way into his first main event here on the World Cup. Canada is proud. Mariana Pahon looks strong. Connor Fields and Sylvain Andre also look strong. So it's going to be a good battle here for those overall titles. As we heard, Laura said she feels a little bit off. She's going to have to put the pressure on Mariana Simone Christensen. Mariana's rode a perfect race all day long, so she's getting ready. You can see her right there warming up for today's main event. So we'll kick things off with the Elite Women's main event first, and then when we move on, we'll get into that men's main event. It's definitely been strong for those riders who have got things going, where we had Connor Fields had a great run. Sylvain Andre looks strong, so it'll be interesting to see who can pull out, as we have just those two races left here in round number 5 of the UCI BMX World Cup in Santiago del Estero. I'm Pete Delusky. We're going to get back to the booth and get back to those last two races of the day. Jason Richardson, I'll be joining them for those main events. Enjoy the rest of the day racing. But don't forget, tomorrow, World Cup finals here. It's where all the meat and potatoes are going to go on the line. Who's going to take that the victory of the day and the overall titles? Who's going to be crowned champion? You'll find out right here on BMX Live TV. Again, same time tomorrow, 2 to 5 p.m. local time for those World Cup races. The final World Cup of the year here in 2017. Thanks, and let's get back to Jason in the booth.
We smashed it on the last one.
Smashed it!
All right, thank you, Pete. Getting us all the scoop, talking to Laura Smolders back there behind the scenes as the riders get ready for the main events. But as I was saying, we can see the sun is moving. Different shadows on the track. Second corner is all shaded, so going from sunlight into the shade may affect some riders, as there could be a glare, and what people don't see is there's sometimes a glare from the paved portions of the track, as you can see just on the crest of that obstacle heading into the second corner. So Some riders being more sensitive to the different lighting on the track than others. All a factor here. UCI BMX Supercross World Cup here in Santiago del Estero. Almost a standing room only. Everyone tweeting and Instagramming and socializing. Keeping everyone informed of what's going on who cannot be here. I thank you for being here, watching and listening in on the live feed, BMX Live TV. For those of you just joining in, we have a 5-way battle in elite men for the title and a 3-way battle for the elite women, of which all 3 women have made the final, which has yet to run today. And 3 of the 5 men have made the final. Andre Vandenberg and Connor Fields all vying for that Supercross World Cup title. They will be in the final today. Crown will be awarded tomorrow, so these points matter. In the women, Yaroslava Bondarenko has not lost a lap yet. She is also yet to go up against Pahone, Christensen, or Smolders. So we will see how she holds up in the finals next to those top 3. Argentinian flag flying proud as the cameraman pans on some members of the crowd. It would be the Russian coach right there leaning over the fence. You see the start list for the final elite women. Pahone, Smolders, Christensen, Bondarenko, just like the points. Afremova, Hernandez, George, and Stavo. That is a heated and stacked final, to say the least. Stop number 3, round number 5. UCI BMX Supercross World Cup, Santiago del Estero, Argentina. Considered the mother of cities, as it is the first city founded by Spanish settlers. 2 times named the best UCI BMX Supercross event. That would be by the riders, so that says a lot, which is why we have such a diverse contingent of riders. Asia, Australia, Europe, United States. We head back up to the hill, number 93. I love that number. Priscilla Stavo. She's an Olympian. She's from Brazil. She'll be coming out of lane 8. Locked and loaded. Next to her, the Danimal, Danny George. Moving it for Team USA. Dale Holmes Racing, GT Bicycles. Waving to the crowd. Stephanie Hernandez, number 469. She'll be coming out of lane 6, doing it for Venezuela. Currently residing in Switzerland, training. Afremova from Russia, lane 5. Next to her, Yaroslava Bondarenko, focused and ready. See if she can make this lap number 4 with a win. It's not going to be easy because she's going to be next to Simone Christensen, Denmark national champion. Laura Smolders, she's been known to win just a few of these before. And the golden girl, Mariana Pajón, Olympic champion, former world champion, about 3 trillion followers on Twitter and Instagram. She'll be coming out of lane 1. As we're official, women's final. Here we go.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
This is the one that counts as they are out. Looks like Smoller's off to a decent start, but Pajón just edges her out with Stephanie Hernandez in the third on the outside. But it looks like Christensen's going to dive on Hernandez. George gets caught up in the pack, but right now it is Pajón running away with it with Smolders in 2 and Christensen in 3rd, Bondarenko in 4th. They are mimicking the points, mind you, as we see Pajón and Smolders leading out of the last corner. Pajón down the last straight. Smolders, Christensen, and Hernandez edging out Afremova and Bondarenko. You can see that start. Smolders off to a decent start, but Mariana Pajón just making room for herself down that first straight. Nice smooth third straightaway. She actually pulls away from Smolders, which is not easy to do. So Pajón just handling the crowd as she heads down the last straight and coasts it in for the first place with a fist pump. Stephanie Hernandez with an impressive fight back up to 4th place, edging out the Russian. The official, Pajón, Smolders, Christensen, Hernandez, Afremova. I think the points are still going to be tight after that. Bondarenko, George, and Stavo. That will be the final for elite women. Congratulations to Mariana Pajón for that win. Laura Smolders for fighting the good fight because her arm is not feeling the best that it's been, as we see Mariana Pajón all smiles, winners are grinners, waving to the crowd. Signature pink glove and pink grips. She rides off into the proverbial sunset. Fiancé Vincent Pelluard giving her a congratulatory hug. BMX power couple, as we see a Pajón fan waving the Colombian flag just over the Argentinian flag. That's how we do it here at the World Cup. We keep it international. It's all love. See Christensen and Smolders off in the distance, talking to each other as we pan across the track. One more lap to go, and that will be the elite men's final. And it is literally anyone's race. Seen great laps from Molina and Torres, the Argentinians. Connor Fields not losing a lap. Sylvain Andre. Worst finish was a 2nd place today, winning his laps before that semi. So it literally could be anyone's race, the elite men's final. See the difference between the 3rd straight between the men and women's, both very busy. So precision is key down those rhythm sections. Riders choosing different options, whether they want to stay low or jump or roll or manual to the non.
We're here with today's winner in the elite women's class, Mariana Pajón. Mariana, an incredible run out there. Talk us through the lap.
It was a good lap. It was definitely a good gate. I just knew I had to do a good lap and then just a smooth lap and try to do my best. I was tired, but it's really good to come here to Argentina and win again with all these fast ladies. Also, Laura, that she crushed today and just handled it to go to gate on the final is amazing. So it's really fun.
So tomorrow is the overall last race of the season. Now you carry a win. You're going to be battling head-to-head with Laura Smolders for that title. How do you approach tomorrow's race to try to get that overall World Cup title?
She's definitely a good rider to race with. it's really fun. We are all doing the best. Laura is doing also the 100%. So it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to race. We're just going to do our best.
So congratulations on the win today.
Thank you.
Mariana Pajón, always with the kind and wise words, gracious champion, knowing that her work is still cut out for her. As we see her fly across that finish line, waving to the crowd. Always a favorite amongst the crowd and other racers, actually. Definitely has earned the respect and admiration of everyone involved in the sport. A great ambassador, if you will. So knowing that those two girls off in the distance, those two women off in the distance, Smolders and Christensen, are still in the hunt. Mariana Pajón has another hard day's work ahead of her as we get ready for the Elite Men Final. Flower presentation, there we go. Smolders with the second, Christensen with the third, as they congratulate Mariana Pajón. That's the official Pajón, Smolders, and Christensen. Very good race. Winners are grinners, as we say. All three women have a big day today, and they will have a big day tomorrow. Here we are, Elite Men start list. Torres, Molina, Andre, Fields, Van Gorkum, Jones, Sakakibara, and Palmer. Very good mix of young, and I won't say old, but experienced on the gate. A couple riders from Argentina riding on some hype, which is always nice. And coming through for the crowd, that's for sure. We have one more race left today. Stop number 3, round number 5. UCI BMX Supercross World Cup. Santiago del Estero, Argentina. Elite Men Final. The heavy hitters most likely making their way up the hill. That very special walk, as we can see them load in the gate, those silhouettes. That 8-meter hill. Lane 8. James Palmer from Canada. He's in the main event. All his hard work is paying off. Next to him, Australian national champion, Kai Sakakibara. Coming out of lane 7, just getting through every round, but nonetheless has every good a chance to win the main event. The Kiwi, Trent Jones, finding his way in the main. He has had an up and down year. Right now, things are looking up. Jelly Van Gorkum, Olympic silver medalist. No stranger to danger, that's for sure. Doing it for the Netherlands. Connor Fields, current Olympic, most recent Olympic champion. Conman. Sylvain Andre, your points leader. He'll be coming out of gate 3. Next to him is Molina, staying strong, looking consistent with great starts. You can hear the crowd giving him their love. And Torres, especially in a good gait next to Molina. Torres not known for the strongest of starts, but next to Molina, Molina might give him enough room to find his way into the top 3. It's all strategic. You better believe that Torres knows that, and they probably thought about that when they picked their lanes. Waiting for the official call. And it's on.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Out of the gate they go. Torres a little crooked, but Molina comes out straight as a bullet, and he goes straight to the front with Andre. And like I said, giving room for Torres to dive right into second. So it's going to be Molina, Torres, and Andre 1, 2, and 3 with Fields in 4th, fighting with Andre. But right now, Torres passes Molina. So it's Torres, Molina, Andre. Connor Fields making his way through the rhythm section, not knowing if he's going to have enough time to make it up. But right now, it's Torres, Molina, Andre, Fields, Jones, Van Gorkum, Sakakibara, and Palmer. Wow, what a great race. Torres not a great start, but Molina was out and left him some room, so Torres just followed the draft right on in. Molina just brought Torres right into that first corner, and then Torres took advantage of that, passed Molina, and kept it all the way around the track. So it's an Argentina 1 and 2, Torres and Molina. The crowd has gone crazy, and everyone is just going crazy. They are so proud. What a great show from the two. I mean, that's a great show. Sylvain Andre giving him his props. The two countrymen sharing a hotel, sharing rental cars, sharing airplane space around the world, find themselves 1 and 2 at their home country as Ezequiel Torres wins round number 5. UCI BMX Supercross World Cup in Santiago del Estero. Country mate Molina getting the 2nd place. Media taking advantage of this great shot. They probably have enough energy to do another lap. They're so excited about it. Full pull for sure. They held it wide open. What a great performance by these two. Consistent all day, running 1 and 2. Uniforms signifying country flag, country colors. About as clean as it gets, folks. About as clean as it gets. Crowd loving it. Torres gives his love back to the crowd, and they love it. It's all smiles. Winners or grinners, hugs, high fives. There's your official for Elite Men's Final. Argentina Torres, Argentina Molina, followed by Andre, Fields, Jones, Van Gorkum, Sakakibara, and Palmer. That's your final for today. We have another day of this tomorrow, where we will crown 2 champions. 1 in elite women, 1 in elite men. All the players still have a shot. Or do they? Have the Argentinians spoiled things for that top 5 as we see this beautiful panoramic view of this great venue here in Santiago del Estero. This track saw a lot of action, and we'll see a lot more tomorrow. I'm sure the riders that didn't get what they want have learned from their mistakes, and the riders that did will improve upon what they've already done.
Okay, an incredible run here to win the World Cup. Tell us what it's like to feel winning your World Cup here in Argentina.
La verdad que todavía no caigo. Mi primer Copa del Mundo ganada y que sea en casa, que se quede acá con nosotros, muy contento.
I still can't believe it. It's my first World Cup win, and it's a home soil, so I'm really happy with the result, and I still can't believe it.
So sit back. It was just a few minutes ago, but World Cup champion, how good does that sound?
Está muy lejos porque, bueno, no pudiste correr las primeras dos, pero si pudieras salir campeón del mundo, de las Copas del Mundo, ¿cómo te gustaría para el futuro?
Y desde acá, desde ahora, ya tengo la mente y el objetivo a cumplir de seguir ganando y seguir entrenando con todo para que se quede todos los campeonatos para Argentina.
My mindset is put in winning more races and hopefully make that championship happen next year, so I'm really excited about it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There you have it. Future star, but I think he's a current star, and there he goes. He's going full throttle, riding with heart. Out of the gate a little bit crooked, but like I said, Molina with the full pull and then giving room for Torres to find his way through. Torres says, you know what, you're my teammate, but I don't like you that much. So he takes the lead down in the second corner and then takes it all the way to the finish. Molina holding on for the second with Andre in tow. What a great race, clean race by all. Definitely the crowd was pleased with that one. As Torres celebrates one of the younger riders in the elite men class, but definitely showing he can beat them all. As we have the award ceremony, third place, Sylvain Andre. He's going to maintain that points lead overall, staying consistent, taking off that breathe right strip. Congratulating Gonzalo Molina with the whole shot of his life. And the winner, Ezequiel Torres. Still can't believe he won one of these, but it's true. And there you have it. Torres, Molina, Andre, those will be your top three for the BMX Supercross World Cup in Santiago del Estero. Round number 5. Round number 6 is tomorrow. Tomorrow, and we will crown 2 champs. It's a new day. What a great day of racing. So the points standings right now is Smolders still ahead with 660, followed by Pahone, Christensen, and Bondarenko, 3rd and 4th respectively. Hernandez moving up a bit, ahead of Judy Bao, Suvarova, and Huisman. Those will be your top 8. Reynolds, Stavo, Hatakeyama, Shriver, Vinstra, Mayer, and Priest. Stavo may have a shot to move further up in the top 10 if she gets in another main, as Lauren Reynolds is not here. The men's Supercross World Cup standings for 2017 currently Andre, Fields, Vandenberg. Fields moving up ahead. Tori Nihog still maintaining a top 5 with Twan Van Gent. Shara, top 6. Keeman and Turner. Those are your 8. Mahue, Ramirez, Rincarel, Tremanis, Sakakibara moving up. Evans moving up as well. Daudet and Dean. So we still have a race. And the points did change just a bit as Vandenberg dropped 1 position. And Fields moves into second. So Fields will be on the hunt tomorrow. And Andre will be fighting for his life for that World Cup final overall. Meanwhile, Pahon has her work cut out for her because Smulders maintains her lead with that second place. So all the riders can do is the best they can do and control what they can control. As we pan the track and the stands are clearing out. Many of the people are making their way to the podium presentation, trying to find their favorite rider to get that autograph, get that signed number plate, ask for some stickers. Sun is still shining. It's been a beautiful day. That's our view from the start hill, the 8-meter. Everyone anxiously awaiting the podium presentation as we pan on this track. See the young kids in their race clothes. They have their challenge race coming up. They want to be like Molina and Torres when they grow up. Wear the blue and white for their country. Torres calling it out, full throttle. See that start again. Molina with a very clean start, hard charging pedals, bobbles a bit. Then Torres making his move on his countryman on the inside of that second corner. Andre with Fields just behind him. Torres pulling away from the rest of the crowd as Molina, Andre, and Fields are kind of in the pack. Crowd going crazy, waving the flag. Christian Becerrine, Javier Colombo would be proud. Looks like these two have taken the torch and are running with it. Incidentally, the translator was Villegas, who was another top elite pro who is recovering from injury. So only could imagine what would be the case if he were on the gate as well. See the women's winner today. Everyone getting ready for the podium. Riders catching their breath, getting the pictures, getting something to drink. You can see the awards there. Christensen, Molina, Pahon, Smulders. It's nice to see all these riders are able to have good conversation, be friends off the track. Some inside scenes of the pits. Definitely, if you're a BMX fan or racer, you want to walk around, scoop up some good product from the vendors. As we get ready for the podium, have a little conversation here with Pete D, who just came back from the pits. Pete, what's the scoop? Did you catch your breath?
I caught my breath, but those two guys from right here in Argentina, they're still breathing heavy with victory on their beaded breath. Exactly what they wanted to do here in front of the hometown crowd. Sylvain Andre, Connor Fields, third and fourth. Those are the title contenders. So right now, Connor grabbed a little bit of space in the overall points, but those two guys say their performance was incredible.
Yeah, it was definitely incredible. I was remarking while you were gone how the lineup in the gate was pretty interesting, how Molina chose lane 2, and then Torres chose lane 1. So I was thinking that they would probably, that was good for Torres because Molina's known for his starts, and that gave Molina some room.
Well, I believe the way they picked was the way they had their choices. So basically it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because I asked Connor, I thought he had a little bit better time than fourth, and he said, no, I had fourth, eighth pick. So that was the run, and those guys really put all-out effort out there. It was an incredible race to see from the finish zone. I'm imagining it was really incredible here into turn number 2, Jason.
Yeah, it was a great race. It was a great race. And, you know, Torres, known for being able to stick those low lines and maintain his speed, and he did it. He was doing it all last year in the last corner, and then this year he didn't have to wait to the last corner. I mean, so he's noticeably getting, I mean, he won the race, so he was clearly the fastest guy today, definitely in that final, but he's known, he's definitely a formidable opponent now, and now that he lines up on the gate, it's definitely, you'll see that those other riders will be looking at him versus the other way around.
Yeah, I know he came out as one of the fastest riders a few years ago when we were here, and then he kind of like didn't really capitalize on the great run that he had here until today. He had a few moments of greatness throughout the season, but I remember, I think the first year he had a really good run here. He only made it to the semi. The crowd went crazy like he had won the main when he got 5th in the semi, but today they really had something to cheer about as they went 1-2 in a World Cup the first time. And as we get into the elite women's podium, you saw a great race there with Mariana Pajón taking the victory over Laura Smolders and Simone Christensen right there. So our top 3 in points are the ladies who sit atop today's podium for the overall in elite women.
That's right. They're maintaining. Mariana Pajón might have caught up a bit, but with Smolders with that second place, I don't know if that's going to be enough. So her work is cut out for her. Christensen, again, maintaining that consistent position. So we'll see tomorrow how that works out, and how you can see that little scuff on Laura Smolders' shoulder, if that'll, you know, what the night does and how she'll wake up, if she'll be stiff or able to ride tomorrow.
Yeah, we got a chance to grab her in the pits there in between the rounds, and she had said, yeah, I was pretty much pain. I just took a few painkillers, got as ready as I could, and you can see. But she had a good race in that main event.
Yeah.
She was actually pulling on Mariana Pajón. Mariana was trying her best, and Simone Christensen was there, you know, to get in third. But that was a, you know, great race there for the elite women in today's main event here in Santiago.
Yeah, definitely Smolders gets the award for toughing it out. That's for sure. It was a good race. She did pull through in the final, did what she had to do. Pajón, as always, textbook start to finish. And then Christensen again, I mean, it wasn't that easy of a race for her. She had some heat on her with Hernandez and George and some other women vying for that third place spot, but she was able to fend them off. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow as we crown the women's elite champion. But right now it's all smiles as we see Pajón, Smolders, and Christensen take some pictures from someone above them.
And then
on the podium.
after what may have been a bad day, Stephanie Hernandez comes back and gets in that 4th place spot. And again, we had, Danny George was in 7th, but it was a crazy main event for those elite women. And we did see Mariana Pajon take, again, a victory here in Santiago del Estero.
Yeah, I got to think Bondarenko is probably the most disappointed out of the whole lot, as she was capable of a top 3, but then got caught up, or maybe not, but definitely I know she was, she had won every lap until the main event. So I'm sure she was hoping for a top 3. As we move on to the elite men, we bring up 3rd place and current point leader still, Mr. Sylvain Andre. I don't know if he's entirely too pleased with that 3rd, but he's definitely impressed by Gonzalo Molina with that 2nd place.
Yeah, Gonzalo Molina definitely impressed me today with that lap in the main when it all counted, but none much more than Ezequiel Torres. I knew he had it a good first straightaway. I didn't know if he had a full lap in him, and today he did show the world, winning here in Argentina for the World Cup, that he could hold off the world's best riders. As we said, Sylvain Andre still holds that #1 points lead going into the finals for tomorrow for the World Cup. Connor Fields sitting there just back and forth. Trent Jones comes back with a great run, gets 5th place. Van Gorkum had a good lap. Good to see him back in the main event. Saka Kabara, he snuck his way into each and every round. 7th place in the main is still respectful. And Palmer enters into the main event.
He got his feet wet.
Got
Palmer
8th
got his
place.
feet wet. Yep.
But, it's an incredible feat to make that main event.
For
None
sure.
more incredible than Ezequiel Torres taking the victory here in Santiago del Estero.
We started out with 78 men, 8 make the final, and these are your top 3. Sylvain Andre, Gonzalo Molina, and Ezequiel Torres with the big win. Torres with the big win. Torres Molina, the big story today in Argentina. The 2 Argentinian men coming through for the home country. Sylvain Andre has his work cut out for him tomorrow if he wants to maintain that points lead.
Yeah, he definitely wants to be atop the podium each and every one of these rounds this year. Will he be able to do it? We'll have to see tomorrow as we go in. Same exact times for the World Cup Finals, round number 6 of the 2017 UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Tour. Still a good battle brewing between both the elite women, the elite men. The elite women, things are going to have to really swap up because I think Laura Smulders has a good lead, but now we have a good battle for that 2nd place overall between Mariana Pajon and Christian Simone. And when we come to the elite men's side, as we said, Sylvain Andre would have had a takeaway way worse than a 3rd today to lose that big points, but today he had a good run, not as good as either the Argentinians, as we said before.
Well, it's a good main event when you can stop pedaling before the line and you still have the win. So he threw his fist up before he even crossed the finish line. So what a great race as we see the celebration from the 2 teammates on the podium. There we have it.
So yeah, there is your schedule for tomorrow, Sunday. Kick things off 2 p.m. local time here with the first round of motos, making our way all through that program. Again, having the awards and the finals right about 4:45. So it should be interesting to see those races. And we will crown 2 champions tomorrow here for the 2017 UCI BMX World Cup Tour.
That's it. We're coming to a close here, but not just yet. So tomorrow will be the day. We hope you tune in, and we thank you for tuning in today. That's for sure.
Yeah, Jason, definitely a great day. Thanks for tuning in, fans. I'm Pete DeLucy.
Jason Richardson.
Thanks for tuning in, and see you again tomorrow.
All right.